I'm pissed off, who wants some? I'm fighting for my soul. God, get at your boy. You trying to go, God, fall back. I go hard on this lonely road, trying to make it home. Doing it by my lonesome, pissed off, who wants some?
I see them long, hard times to come.
Yo.
Yo.
Well, hopefully it's working. I don't know. I didn't even get a chance to check out to see if fixed the audio issue at the very beginning or not, but oh well.
Yeah, it's going. I can hear it on there.
Sure, everything else is working. Oh, okay. Well, where do you want to start at? Because, like I said, I have absolutely... Well, I got one thing to talk about, but just my bad luck on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, I almost had forgot about that. Man.
I didn't. So, I didn't get a chance to bring the video up either. I was going to put the video up of it, but if y'all didn't check out Instagram, here's my brand new Dobbins fishing rod. As you can see, that's the tip. Brand new. That kind of sucked, but I gotta chalk this up to human error. It's not a Dobbins rod fault. It's not a Dobbins rod fault. Although I did knock off the hook keeper off the Dobbins rod, which is fine by me because I didn't really care for that anyhow. So I put one of the cow clips on there. Which, by the way, if y'all haven't bought those, you should buy those. You haven't bought any of those yet, have you?
No.
Awesome. Look at that. It holds that so perfectly in there. And then, like, for drop shot and shit, works really good. Really works really good for a drop shot, but... So, yeah.
Why did you say don't bother?
Don't bother what?
Oh, I thought you said don't bother getting those clips.
No, I said get them.
Okay, I didn't hear you right.
Buy them. No, they're nice. I love it. I wish they did. I wish they sold each size separately instead of buying a 3, because you get 3 different sizes in each package.
Right.
So, I wish you could buy like certain sizes, because I just buy like 5 of each, and then use them where you need them at. Because they got a small, medium, and a large size. So like the large would fit. You could put down here. And clip on there if you like bringing your stuff down to here. Look at this. I could do this all day long. Ain't gonna matter.
Nope. Doesn't matter now, huh?
Now. That garbage. Man, that pisses me off. So yeah, that's been 2 rods. I know for sure are broken about the same place. And then that blackout rod knocked off the 3 eyelets all in the same spot from basically the first side down. It knocked off 3 of those on that rod. And I'm pretty sure I know what that's from, but I don't blame the rods on that. But that's a shame. That is a shame.
Yeah, that was yeah, that was crazy. You've had a tough run on rods this year.
Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 rods.
Jeez, 4. I was only thinking of 2.
No, my Skeet Reese, my Blackout, my Dobbins, and that Quantum. That KV. Oh, that was last year. So 3 rods this year, 1 rod last year.
Right.
So yeah, but still, yeah, 3 rods.
Well, speaking of Tuesday, so I did lose something that day, but not to the significance of what you lost. Fishing rod, I lost a chatterbait, donated that to the backside of some 10-pound carp. Yeah, that was an interesting fight for a couple minutes until, yeah, bye that chatterbait went. Yeah, but hey, speaking of Tuesday, also we can't leave talking about Tuesday yet until you share your little story about the Russian guys on the bank.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
So we're worming our way down to the spot that we like to go, and there's a bunch of bank fishermen and a couple of people fishing off this one bridge, but these two Russian guys were sitting there and they're in lawn chairs, and the one guy, he's like this. He's out cold. He's sleeping. And the other guy, he's all tying up his stuff, and he's eyeballing me, and he's doing this. He's eyeballing me again, and he gets out there and he gets his big old Ken Griffey Jr. swing, and he throws that big old, probably 2-ounce weight, damn near went across the whole river. And he had a bell on top of his freaking rod. He got a bell on top, so it's going to ding, right? And so I come by him, and he's just sitting there, and he's just eyeballing that top of that rod. He's all booga booga, talking to his buddy, and his buddy's out cold. And I'm sitting there, I start laughing my ass off, and I'm all like, dude, you got a bell on there. Who gives a shit? Take a nap like freaking your risky friend there and just freaking take a nap, man. And he's all, and then he starts trying to wake that guy up and pointing at us, and I was just giggling my ass off. I'm like, dude, you got a bell. You could go get in your car and walk away from that damn thing. That catfish is going to ring that bell when you catch it.
Right.
So, yeah, that was pretty funny. And then the little Hispanic family there, that kid, he kind of bothered me a little bit, but I motored through it.
Oh, you said he was taking shots at you or something.
Yeah, because when we got there, they were fishing on top of the bridge, and that one kid was down on the bank. And we get down there, and we start catching fish, of course. And, we're hitting those pylons pretty good and doing that. Well, then that kid, we kind of went away, and I came back to that spot. And as soon as I rolled back up in there with the boat, he comes running down and parks his ass in that bank, and he starts casting where I'm casting at. And then he starts casting at my boat, and I caught that other fish in there, and I was thinking of two things. One, I was going to say something like, hey, dude, come on. What are you doing? And then I started thinking, okay, well, maybe I should take this as a learning moment and yell out to the kids, say, hey, man, if you want to catch something, throw it at that pylon right there, kind of point the way to them and teach them. And I'm like, man, his dad should be doing this. His dad should be like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you, going down there and throwing at that guy? But his dad probably the one told him to do it. Hey, go down there. They're fishing our spot. Oh, not really. You're fishing off a freaking 20-foot bridge.
Right.
Which I still don't get the whole concept of that, but I really don't.
Yeah, because it seems like every time, every time we've gone down there, I think I've witnessed them pull maybe one bass up. I've seen one bass make the Star Trek getting beamed up.
Right.
One time I think I've seen that, and of course I caught that nice one under there that morning, and the look on their face was priceless.
Well, yeah, and I think that's why they started, they're either pissed off at us or something, thinking that we're catching their fish, when actually, no, we're catching fish underneath the bridge. We're not just blindly casting out a 1-ounce weight and hoping for the best. Because, you see them when they reel in their bait, whatever they're using, probably just a night crawler or something like that, their rod is freaking bent like they got a freaking house on there. Mm-hmm. They got so much weight on that thing. And it's crazy. I was laughing. I was just like, come on. But I did catch that tweaker fish again.
That's right. You did.
Yeah, I wish I had a picture of that. I didn't have a chance to pull any footage off that yet to do that. But who knows even if it was working then anyhow. Who knows? I'm not having good
Right.
luck this last couple weeks.
Right. Well, that was that was 4th of July. That was Tuesday. So we got out that morning, and then you spent the rest of your 4th of July out on the boat. So any good boat or dumbass stories?
No, not that day.
Wow.
I was just trying to stay awake on 2 hours of sleep.
Right.
Cause yeah, when we went fishing, I got home about 1:30. So I had to put all my crap together, and I finally went to bed a little bit after 2, and then the alarm went off at 3:55, and then I think I slept into about 4:15.
Right.
And then when we get out there, it's just you get there first, and then I roll in, and then probably about 5 minutes into it, and here comes those cars come rolling into the parking lot. I'm like, oh,
those
hey,
two old boys
here.
showed up. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
And then the whole freaking looked like the gates just opened up and everybody showed up out there. And they're all catfishing.
Yeah.
Trying to catfish out there. And so there's no sweat off of us because, it wasn't like they're going to be in our way or anything. It's just funnier and shit because... But remember, I said, hey, go down by that train bridge down there. And you're like, I can't even get through there. There's so many freaking lines going across the water.
Right.
Like, screw that, dude. Just go for it. I don't want to wait this side of the head.
The bad part is I was heading down towards that train bridge, and, I saw a bobber sitting there on the side of the river I was on by that pylon. There's a bobber sitting there, right? And so as I'm getting closer to it, I'm thinking, I can't see anyone on the right, but I'm thinking there must be somebody on the right because there's a big tree overhanging. And then I start looking, and I see the bobber move, and I look over to the left. I'm like, man, the guy on the left is casting, like he's got a nice pylon right in front of him. He's casting across the river at the other side. Come on, man. What are you doing? Good luck on that hook set. Jeez.
Yeah, like I said, man, they catfish and they use those big
I don't even know if they call that fishing. They should not call that fishing. They should call that wishing.
I think sometimes they actually try and like cast all the way across that river and bring it back across, but yeah, I think that one old boy was using like it had to have been a 2-ounce, one of those triangle lead weights.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, dude. What rod are you using? Because I'm pretty sure it's just some eagle claw thing that you bought at Walmart for $20 that you just threw on a 2-ounce weight on there.
Yeah. Most likely.
But it is what it is. So would you sent me something for our iCast? I'm looking at trying to get that brought up right now.
Oh, it's Bassmaster.com always puts out a slideshow ahead of time of all the new stuff for fishing that's going to be displayed this year. So rods, reels, terminal tackle, soft baits, hard baits. So they put it out every year.
Let's see if my internet and my computer could keep up with running everything all at once here.
Yeah, the title says 199 new products.
Yeah, I'm going through it there. Man, it won't let me break it down. Oh, there's it is. There's the ads. Well, I'm on 13. I don't see nothing that I'm in the hard baits right now.
Well, you'll be in love when you get to the reels.
Well, yeah, but Jesus criminy. How long is it going to take me to get to the reels?
Oh, let's see
This
here.
thing's going slow. And then every ad comes up. See, I hate this shit.
Yeah. I just keep clicking the arrows and it goes right past the ad when you do that. I saw, what is that thing? Mega Bass Grand Siglet. That's a wild looking.
Ooh,
What
what's
the hell
that?
that thing's supposed to be?
Hold on. I just saw something. Freedom
you-
Tackle Buzzbait. So, okay, this is what
What
I
number is that?
I'm on number 30, but here, I'll bring it up.
Well, you went past the knuckle bait. Yeah, you should have looked at that thing too. That was
So, Fishin' Freedom Swing Hook. So basically, this is just a swing head jig.
so.
Swing jig.
What that is, that's the same thing as the Sugar Buzz that we got last year from Strike King.
Yeah.
Yep, the same thing. It's just different company.
See, I could see that maybe putting like a swimtail jig on there, or a swimtail
Mm-hmm.
in the back. That'd be all right.
Go back and look at 22.
22.
Yozuri knuckle bait.
Oh my god, my internet. I wish it'd just bring up a gallery so I could just check that out.
Look at that thing.
Hey, was that a
knuckle bait.
rattler up top?
I don't. That's bizarre.
Dynamic, which means it can be cast tremendous. This is also highly versatile. Can be fished by itself or paired with a swim bait. Yeah. Surprisingly weedless. I don't see no weed guard on there, but so what the frick is that on top, man? It has to be like some rattler or something.
Well, I'm assuming that it just, knuckle bait, so it probably makes it go through the water like a knuckleball.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It just makes it do some funky donkey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
$10. I don't know. Maybe that'll come in a lucky tackle box or something, because I won't be buying it.
When you get to 31, it'll start showing a few new jigs coming out. Strike King, new hack attack.
And I wish you'd just give me a freaking... Just give me a gallery. This here takes too damn long.
Well, it can't be that easy, right? There you go. 31.
I just looked at that jig, yeah.
Talk
about that one?
There you go, yeah. Hack attack.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like those colors, though.
Mm-hmm. And then 33, new Z-Man flipping jig.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, 33 and 34.
Cross-eyed.
Alright.
I actually like that color.
Yeah.
With that brown and that greenish and the reddish. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm digging that. Soft baits. Oh, my God, dude. I'm only at soft baits.
I didn't see anything, nothing really jumped out at me on the soft baits. I didn't really see anything. I didn't really see anything in the soft baits to go ooh over.
Oh, my God, dude.
Okay, when you get to the... Let's see where you're at. When you get to the reels, if you get there. Yeah. When you get to the reels, stop at like 71.
Oh, Jesus. Really? I go all the way to 71?
Remember, it's 199 items.
Oh, God. Dang goodness.
A lot of those just coming out with different sizes. Hey, there's Do It molds. Skimpy will be excited for that. Start making some tubes.
You know what? I've never really fished with tubes. I think I only fished with them last year one time.
I don't think I have either, but I watched a guy I was fishing with yesterday catch some on the tube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get into that here in a little bit.
If you think about it, because I think last year I was losing my, I think I lost my Ned rig. And I tied it on. I didn't have no more plastics for it, so I put a tube on there. I was fishing it that way. Yep, Shimano. How much they selling that for? $179. There it is.
Yeah.
The bulletproof president. Fuego. Man, dude, I hear a lot of good talk about those Daiwas.
Yeah.
But then again, when you look down here and you see a $450 price, I guess it's hard to not talk good about it.
Right.
Hey, Quantum PT, got one.
All right, slow down. Click one. Okay, hold up. Click one more and then don't go forward. Just one more. Okay, let me get a good view because I want to see the look on your face when you click the next picture. Because this has Jade written all over.
Oh, this one's all me.
Yep. This is all Jade. This is oop de oop fishing. Do it.
It's all me.
Do it.
Oh, look at that orange bitch. I like that.
I told you. Look at that.
Oh, that's sexy.
Yeah, I know you're Mr. Cast King right now, but when I saw that, I'm like,
Cast King, take note. Orange and black sells. Ooh, that is sexy, though.
I figured you were going to like that.
What are they selling that for?
Now, now check it out at the bottom, $159, and it says combo, so.
They're calling it a crush. I like that, the orange crush.
Yeah, maybe they're going to.
Make a rod.
Maybe there's going to be a rod. It must be, because they have a combo for $200.
Yeah, that's pretty damn sexy.
Yeah, I figured.
What's the speed ratio? 7:5:1. That's nice. That's what my speed spool is. My other speed spool. And I do like the
grips, the wind grips.
Yeah, I do like that. That's what my one rod is, my Cabela's rod. Has that. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. Yeah, that was a sexy rod.
75 Cast King.
Yeah, Speed Demon.
Yep.
What? MSRP? $130? Bullshit.
Yeah, you know how they do that.
They say that all the time on Amazon.
I know.
That's $60.
Hey, it's like when you buy something at Shopko.
Yeah.
Yep. You try to buy something at Shopko, everything's 50% off.
Oh, what we got for rods? The new Veritas.
New Veritas, yep.
That was a combo. J. Loomis. Yeah, $375 rod.
84 is a news item. Gerald Swindle.
Oh, is he making his own rod?
He's been with Quantum, but yeah, he's got his own signature rod coming out. The G-Force rods. Yeah.
I don't like the green, but
I've seen him talking about those for a while.
now I will say this. Okay, so he's selling that for $100.
Yeah.
So one thing I have a hard time with and an issue with are the reel seats. Right? So hold on here. So one thing I have an issue with is the plastic reel seats, right? This is 100 what? What are these? 119? 109?
109, yeah.
109. All right. So even the more expensive rods still have those plastic thing. One thing I will give Abu credit for is they have a nice reel seat. Have you ever looked at those? The very
aluminum, aren't they?
Ones. Yeah, and they click.
Right.
You know, and they're very tight and everything. And for a cheap rod, it's very, very intuitive. You know, intuitive. Right. It was intuitive. But yeah, over those plastic. So that's my opinion on that. I just think it's kind of sucks that when you spend money on something like that, same thing for the hook keeper. I think if you're going to spend money on a freaking rod, they should give you a decent hook keeper. So look at that for the same crew, freaking $390 to $420 for this thing.
Yeah.
And well, we all know that I can't have expensive shit, so I'm done looking at stuff under 100 or over $100.
Although I do see one of those reels in your future, so.
Dude, I don't know, man. I like those caskets.
Hey, Christmas present, something. It's coming.
All right, we're into terminal tackle now, so. So yeah, that Orange Crush reel will get an award. Watch.
Did you see 95 there?
No, I breezed right past
that was
it.
Now they're going to have a specific line for cranking, for crankbaits.
So is it going to be a bigger diameter or what?
I don't know. I'm thinking it's just another way to sell more line.
Designed specifically for cranking technique. Yeah, you know what? I could see that. I could see, coming out with a different technique line so you can sell $20 spools for everything. Instead of just buying a $20 spool and run it for everything, fluorocarbon or whatever. I can see that. Anything to get our buck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this site sucks. What?
I was looking ahead a little bit, and they actually, coming up after electronics, is actually a kayaking section.
Oh, look at that. Did you see the new Ned rig?
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me do this. There. That's a little bit different for a keeper.
Right. Looks like a pretty stout hook in there also.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the more of the...
Well, it says HD jig head, so extra heavy duty.
Still using a 1 and a 2 for size.
Right.
Give me a 4, man. I want to see a 4. And they put a big old freaking 6-inch freaking Ned rig worm on there. That'd be alright. Hey, typical. Oh, look at that, dude. This is bad. You know, I still haven't bought me a pair of snap ring pliers.
I haven't either.
I guess we just don't have the need to change out hooks.
I just don't throw too many. I just don't throw too many treble hook baits. Really, probably should throw more.
Right.
Kind of learned that yesterday.
So yeah, you said you went out when you went out yesterday and stuff that you're catching some on your crankbait.
Yeah. So yesterday we go out on the Big River, me and a couple guys, and yeah, shoot, I was starting to get worried for a minute because it was probably a good hour and a half, almost 2 hours. They had both caught fish, and I hadn't caught any yet. I was like, man, what the hell is going on here? with this stuff. So I finally end up catching one on a drop shot. And yeah, the funny part of the story was, so the guy that owned the boat, he's got one on a drop shot. We're fishing off this point on the main river, and as he's reeling it up, you know, he sees a follower with it that was bigger than the fish that he had hooked, and he's like, oh, he starts yelling, you know, follower, drop your bait down. And so I just released the bail on mine, drop it straight down, and man, sure enough, it was almost immediate. The other fish grabbed my bait, and so yeah, and that actually happened twice yesterday. It happened again right before we left, but this time I had the fish on and I was reeling it up, and there was a bigger one right next to mine chasing mine. So the other guy dropped his down and he caught the other fish. So yeah, that was that one there was caught on a drop shot. Yeah, it wasn't bad. We didn't weigh it, but it was probably, I don't know, 2.5, something like that.
So
around there.
How deep of water were you in right there?
I want to say 20. We're like 20 feet, right around there, give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it was is it was off this point, and there was a ledge out there that we were fishing off the ledge, and so that's where we caught that. But actually, most of my fish that I caught, or the bait that really took off for me, was a Booyah, their version of a rattle trap. And I threw that because another guy in the boat was throwing a red eye shad, chili craw, which we have that color ourselves. And so I just grabbed it was a chartreuse blueback, just to try a different color. And man, I was tearing them up on that thing. It was incredible. I mean, I had at least 2 good ones that crankbait was all the way in the mouth. And I'm talking to the point where the tail treble hook was hooked on the outside on the lips, and the big hook and the head of the bait was down in the fish.
Really?
Like they really wanted that thing, yeah. Yeah. And then the other bait that was working for me was the Strike King Rage Swimmer, which is basically Strike King's version of a Kitech, right? Same deal. You put a swim bait hook in it. You know, so the hook comes out the back, out the top, and it's exposed, right? And so the other guy was fishing with, I think his probably was a Kitech, and he had been catching fish all day on it when I was catching them on the rattle trap. And then finally I wanted to try something different because the rattle trap bite slowed down, and so I had these Strike King Rage Swimmers that I got in the IU color, whatever the hell IU is supposed to be. It was a different color than what he was using. His was kind of a white-blue shad color, and that IU is kind of a goldish, more of a green pumpkin goldish with like a light-colored belly. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so I hooked this thing up, tie it on, and I'm like, well, I'll give it a shot. I don't know if it's the right color or not. And I cast that thing out there. First cast, boom, nailed one. I'm like, well, I guess it was a good color. So, yeah, it was a pretty good day of fishing. We fished, like I said, the main river. We fished down, launched out of Boardman, fished down the river around there, and then we loaded up and drove up above McNary Dam, launched right next to the dam, and then headed between the dam and Hat Rock. We didn't make it all the way to Hat Rock, but anyways, we fished around in there, and yeah, I honestly lost count. I would say easily caught 15 fish.
Right.
Probably more. I mean, we all did. It was, you know, and probably the biggest fish, the guy that owned the boat, he caught a nice one right before we were done, right by the dam, and it was probably, I'll say it was an easy 4-pounder. It was a good 4-pounder. But, you know, there were some 3s caught, some 2s, and, you know, a lot of dinks, of course, too. But, yeah, just, actually was a pretty decent day of fishing.
But fishing off a 21-foot Triton.
Yep, 21-foot Triton.
And there was
nice
3 of
boat.
you?
3 of us, yep.
So that's about comfortable fishing like that, or did you have to worry about freaking a stray bullet coming at you? Or?
You know, it was. I would say it was pretty comfortable. It was. You know, you had to be conscious when you're casting, of course, especially if you're casting treble hook baits. I mean, you kind of. I noticed everybody would kind of look over their shoulder, you know, before they read back the cast.
Before they fired off.
Right? Yeah, everybody was kind of cautious about doing that, but as I was out there that day, because you know we've talked about boats, and maybe someday one of us will have a fishing boat, and anyways, and so I was kind of observing and thinking about everything while I was out there, and I'm like, man, yeah, anything less than that, 3 people, ooh, yeah, you better be damn careful, because it's going to be tight quarters. When I was sitting there thinking about, you know, if someone had like an 18-footer or something, you know, you would think 21 to 18, 3-foot difference is not that much, but it would be a huge difference. I mean, think about it. That's almost like half the length of a fishing rod.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you think about it that way, and you're swinging back to cast, or you know, that's 3 feet's a big difference. So
get excited and
yeah,
pull somebody's hat off their head.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just nice in the boat, you know. It's coming from kayak and what we do. It's just nice because you just could cover so much water.
That's the thing right there. You could cover a lot of water.
You just can. You can just cover so much water. I was telling Maria today, I was talking to her this morning, I said, you know, like in a kayak, you got, you know, or even what you're fishing out of, same thing. You know, you pretty much look at a spot you're going to launch from, and you think, okay, well, realistically, probably looking at a 3-mile max range.
Right.
I mean, as far as three miles to go somewhere and back, you probably could go longer if you wanted to, but just on a normal fishing day, I don't think you're going to look at somewhere like, man, I'm going to go past 3 miles.
Right.
Well, in a bass boat, yeah, I mean, your range is so much more. So, and the other thing I noticed too, and this goes without saying, is when you're going down the bank on a bass boat, things are happening a lot quicker. You know, you're moving and covering water. You might get 1 cast at a target,
right?
Maybe 2, maybe 1, and you're moving to the next one. Where us, what we fish, you know, we come up to a target, man, we're gonna pick that thing apart. We're going to cast the left side, the right side, the center, maybe a couple times. You know what I mean? You're just gonna pick it apart a lot more.
Right. So,
and you kind of need to, because you know you don't have the range. So.
Yeah, it'd be nice, man. Like I said, I'd like to get a boat one of these days. One of these days,
right.
Between the two of us, we'll get something. We'll get something. I was just sitting here looking at push play on this. That's what that damn music was, but let me try this real quick. See how this works. I haven't seen this yet. I haven't even been on Instagram in the last couple days or doing much of anything, so I can't really... Let's see here. When you finally get... Oh, look at him. He's all going all Axel.
Yeah, he is.
He's going to tip that son of a bitch over.
Oh, that's Fat Cat Newton. Yeah, I've seen that guy before.
Who the hell is that?
He's... Okay, Fat Cat Newton. When I first learned of Fat Cat Newton was on the Ike Live show. He used to call in on Ike Live, and then from what I can tell, Fat Cat Newton, he's a freaking bass elite groupie.
Oh.
Like he's always trying to put himself around. Like I think that dude will show up at iCast. He'll call up dudes on their fishing shows. He'll put out these stupid ass videos that are just like I don't know. If you ever watch some of his videos on YouTube, it's like, what the hell's wrong with this guy?
No, never even heard of him.
Yep. That's what he does. That's what he does. Fat Cat Newton.
Oopsie.
Yeah, Lake Fork guy.
Yeah, that sucks. Always have a spare tire.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this dude's freaking kayak.
Pedal drive.
Yeah, see, now that's what, see, I don't think that would be comfortable. I don't think that would be comfortable because I remember when we were talking about that, and you're like, yeah, there's, you know, like with the Hobie, your feet are kind of down, you know, and you're more just using your feet and you're pushing. On that one there, that looks like one of those exercise bikes.
Right, that is what the propeller drives pedals are like, yes. If you ever see some of the guys, like if you see video footage of them, and that's what it looks like too. It looks like they're at the gym, like they're reclined back in their seat and they're pedaling their butt off. Where yeah, the Hobie, I don't know, the Hobie to me, I've said this before many times. It just looks like it would be less exertion,
right,
to just pushing.
And that's what I think too, because it just seems like that it'd be just a little too much to be sitting there working out like that the whole time.
Right.
There we go. Ooh. Dobbindrad, another Dobbindrad. Wonder if I should send him my picture. That dude's using the blue one though. That's not the Fury. That's the.
No, that's the expensive one.
That's the nice one. Look at that ugly damn thing.
Well, Scott Martin. Well, you know, speaking of Scott Martin, so he's got a lot of time to saltwater fish right now because I think their last tournament for FLW was in June, and they're off. This is May or June, and they're off till Forestwood Cup in August.
Really?
Which they don't even all get a fish in that one. Only the top so many guys.
Woo.
Yeah, we need to get some of that woo.
Yeah, I got to make a fishing order or a tackle order and get some of that going and see. So here's my thing. So this is what I'm going to do. So I don't know if anybody's seen our Instagram post that Brian and I are part of the Woo family as a promotional staff. And if you remember watching our show 3 weeks ago, when I gave my what fors about Woo. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an order of it and see what they send me for promotional staff, because it's not really written out on what you get or, you know, what you do with it or whatever. And if they do not send a hat or a shirt or something like that for their quote-unquote promotional staff, then I'm going to pull out my soapbox and stand on top of it and say what we have to say about it. So this is kind of like a how can I say it? This is a training period. This is our 90-day probationary period.
There you go.
But we're going to give it a shot. We're going to check it out. And because here's the bottom line. There's really nothing to review on it. It's not like, you know, we're going to say, hey, this is great. You know, it probably is great stuff. But let's see here. So, but we're going to try it out and just see. Because here's the thing of it is that as a promotional staff, you get a discount. And you get a discount for using their product. And you get a discount for using their product and giving them a good reputation and good name, which I have no problem doing. You know, I will talk it up. I mean, I'm not a promotional staff on casking, but I love casking, and I'll, you know, promote the hell out of that. But if they want me to say, hey man, use Woo, we use it, so you should use it. You need to send me a hat. You need to send me a shirt. You need to send me something. Because I'm not doing it. I mean, I don't mind doing it. I mean, if I like the product, I'll even if I'm not a promotional staff, I'd still say something good about it. I'm not going to call it trash or garbage or something like that because they don't send me a hat. But I won't be buying it, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, that's cool. It's cool to be part of a promotional staff, and you see that I call it promotional staff. I don't call it pro staff because I think those are two different things. You're either promotional staff or you're a pro staff. Pro staff is you should be fully sponsored. You want to be called a pro staff, you should be fully sponsored. Promotional staff means that, hey, give me a nice discount. I'll talk good about your product if I like it. If I don't like it, then, you know, you're doing yourself a disservice, you know, so you get a discount on something that you never use anyhow.
We actually had a chat about that yesterday in the truck ride about you know, because there's a couple guys in the Columbia Basin Bass Club, or there's one guy I know of that's Dobbins. I mean, he's always got the Dobbins stuff on, and I know I brought up, I'm like, is that guy sponsored by Dobbins or does he got a pro deal? And the guy was like, well, to be honest with you, anybody that's not on TV is a pro deal. Like, the only guys that the only guys that really are, quote, pro staff as you're describing it, you know,
right.
In other words, they send you a box of stuff, i.e. fishing rods, is like elite guys.
Right.
Pretty much everybody below that, you're paying something.
Promotional staff.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, and I guess it all depends too on the discount you get. You know, so say if I got to do this real quick. Hold on. I got an itch in my nose so bad that I have to freaking go at it. So I don't want. All right.
The funny part is I can still see you on the little picture.
You can see me, but they can't. I was getting ready to go grab that rod. And...
You know, but hey, but here's the thing though. So if you let's say you need to buy some rods, right? Let's say it's fishing season coming up, and every couple years you're gonna buy, I don't know, 5 or 6 rods. Then maybe at that time, then yeah, that's a good thing, because if you're gonna buy the rods anyways, why not get a discount, right?
Exactly. If you like that product so much that you're gonna go fork out $500, $600 on 3 or 4 rods, and you get a discount for it, and you're going to talk good about it anyhow, then yeah, why can't you get a discount and promotional staff and say, man, you know, this is
because we know somebody
stuff.
that looked into Enigma rods. Remember that? The guy was looking into Enigma rods, and they're like, oh, well, you got to buy this many rods of this line, then you can only fish with those rods, and then I think you have to like promise to buy so much more in the next year or two. I mean, you know, like you said, if that's your deal and you're sold on that rod and you're going to buy them anyways,
might as well.
Why not?
Yep. Get the discount and, you know, maybe get some free apparel every now and then. I really think a shirt should, if you're going to be promotional staff on anything, you should definitely get a shirt, a hat, because what they're relying on is you taking a picture, whether you catch a fish, say for Woo Tungsten, right? If I'm wearing my Woo hat and I catch a fish on a spinner, and not a Texas rig or something that I'm using that weight, and I take a picture of that fish, I still got that Woo hat on. I'm taking a picture of it, and then that's what they're wanting. They're wanting the name out there, and that's what Woo Tungsten has done. And that's why I put in that post that their social media campaign is bar none the best out there right now.
It's called brand recognition.
They are tearing it up from doing that, saying, hey man, okay, these guys, you know, they're you know, I know they're looking for a little bit higher follower count than what we have. And when I put in on the application on there, you know, I'm like, hey, we're growing. You know, we don't have a big following yet, you know, but we're, you know, you got to start somewhere, right? So, you know, but we will put pictures up. I mean, that's what we do. You know, we put pictures up and we try and, you know, get something going here, which is boggling my mind that I can't get more followers. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm doing something wrong. And what I mean by that is that I came across a post just before we got on the show, and this guy has 4,000 followers, right? And he has 2 posts. 2 posts on Instagram. 4,000 followers.
Well, hey,
How the
now,
shit?
okay, so since you're bringing this up, and this is right on topic, so one of the people I follow on YouTube, and hopefully this won't get people turned off from us by me admitting to this, but one of the people I follow is Casey Neistat. Or do you even know who Casey Neistat is? You may not even know who he is.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah,
I don't follow a lot of YouTube.
Well, this guy's not fishing. He's a like social media guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got. Matter of fact, I don't want to say it wrong. I'm going to look real fast. I'll tell you exactly how many followers this guy has. He's pretty known. Most people know him. So just right here. So he's got 7.4 million subscribers. He's one of the top guys. He's not
7.4 subs on YouTube.
YouTube,
Okay.
yeah. He's not. And him and his brother had done some documentary type show on HBO back in the day. I mean, this guy, he's pretty known guy. And anyways, he's starting up this company in cooperation with CNN. It's going to be kind of like this news type deal, but off the beaten path news, like not political news or not mainstream stuff, but kind of makes me think of that show a little bit, like that show Vice on HBO. Mm-hmm. But anyways, so one of the stories they were talking about when I watched his video the other day, his latest video, was there's a thing right now where you can pay to get Instagram followers. There's people out there that you could pay money to these companies, and they will like they did it. They did it to one of the guys that worked in his office, just messing with him. They paid off. I think it was cost $40, and they got the dude like 5,000 Instagram followers. Yeah. Yep. I'll send you a link to that story later, and you can check it out. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but you can watch through to where he talks about the Instagram story.
See, and that's stupid because I want people that want to follow us because, you know, either we're funny or we're putting out something cool or something like that, right? Yeah. I don't want 6,000 followers that don't give a shit. I like that interactive stuff. I like to be able to post something and say, hey, what do you think about this? And get, 10 or 15 comments on it saying, oh, man, yeah, do this or do that or that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of just having, 20,000 followers that, for what? What's that point for? Because I tell you what, Instagram followers don't mean doesn't mean shit for YouTube. You can go look at that bass. What the hell is it? I see this damn little kid, Bass Fishing Productions or something like that on Instagram. And there's some kid. He got like 50,000 subs or 50,000 followers on there. And you go look at his YouTube videos, and he's like cutting baits up with a heated knife. And it's just stupid. He got like 800 followers on YouTube. Our subscribers on YouTube. I'm like, okay, it doesn't compute. It doesn't compute in my head that how does this yoho have freaking 50,000 followers when usually all his posts are somebody else's posts that he just posts. I don't get it. I don't get the concept of it. I guess I'm just too damn old to figure that out. Because it just
yeah. Well, you probably can look at his thumbnails too, and then they're probably clickbaitish. I'm sure. Well,
it's just pictures of that somebody else has posted, and most of the time he doesn't give the credit for it either. If I'm going to post somebody else's picture, you'd better damn well guarantee I'm going to at least credit the person. Say, hey, oh yeah, hey, this was this guy's picture, but it was so cool I had to post it. I think I did that with some Yak Attack stuff,
Right.
I don't have nothing to do with this picture, but it's a cool freaking picture, and that's just. So I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe that's why it's just taking so long to grow. But I looked at my stats on the Instagram page, and we gained 60 new followers, right, on Instagram, and lost 50.
Yeah.
And lost 50. So
Yeah,
we've been at that 360. We've been at that 360 for the last month, right? And it goes up, and I think we are at 71, and then it dropped back down, and it just sits there. But yeah, I looked at it, and I'm like, holy shit! That was within like 3 weeks that we gained that many followers, but then had 50 drop off, which means that because we do get a lot of companies that follow us, right? And all they want you to do is they follow you real quick, you follow them, then they unfollow you, and now you're still following them.
Yeah, then they move on.
And then they move on, and I kind of keep track of that because there's certain companies I don't follow certain companies. I don't I don't care about your product, and so just because you liked one of my and commented, boy, that's a nice shot. I think somebody did that with the broken rod. They did. Hold on here a second. Look at this. So let's see here. Where is... Oh, yeah, right here.
Super post.
So this is who put super post on here, right?
Yeah.
And I think he followed us. But, okay, so then I go look at his, and he has 1,200 followers. And I'm sitting there going, okay, dude, why would I follow you? This is what you're posting, right?
Yeah.
Nothing that I care to see, nothing that you care to see, nothing that, it's like a damn Facebook page. You got nuts and a freaking piece of pie or cheese there or something like that. So it's like, so of course then he followed us and then unfollowed us. Well, I'm not going to follow you because you have nothing interesting that I want to see. I don't know whose fucking kid that is. Do I give a shit about that kid? Really? Am I supposed to post something on there like, dude, that's an awesome picture of that kid? I don't care. So I don't know. It's just weird. I get, probably just different times and, Missile Jigs. Follow them. Like Missile Jigs. Kentucky Yak Angler. Well, he's not in a yak, but, his kid probably caught a fish on the thing there.
God, speaking of followers, I did notice last week that that Lunkers TV guy, dude, went over 500,000.
Oh,
he did that in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Freaking incredible.
I am going to buy some of these, though. I do like some of his jigs that this guy puts out.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he makes that, and he got some nice spinning. Yeah, he makes chatterbaits and he sponsors. I forget what pro he sponsors. He does sponsor a couple pros.
Nice.
Out there, but it does make some pretty nice looking stuff. So I do. I think I want to try some of these smaller bait companies and try some of their stuff. I think that'd be really cool to do that.
Yeah, that I know John B and Perrick from the Guggen Squad. That's what they did in the beginning. They used to, I can't remember the name of the company, but they used to do that. They'd use some small company stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
Only thing left I got on the topic of fishing is tournament next week.
Oh, that's right. You're going to potholes.
Potholes on Saturday.
Our infamous potholes.
Yeah. Hopefully it goes better than the last tournament.
We're going to call that, you know what we should call that place? Our Achilles heel.
Yeah.
It gets cut. That's it. Can't get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope the tournament goes better than the last one.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, what are you packing away for it? What are you going to try?
well, I know that when Fred, the guy I'm fishing with, was up there last week, he said he was catching them on a frog and probably grubs or something. But yeah, I'll probably have on a frog tied on, and man, hopefully I could use that swim bait that I used, that Rage Swimmer. Man, that thing worked pretty good. And spinner bait, and that was odd too, because speaking of spinner bait, so I threw the spinner bait a lot yesterday and nothing.
Really?
Nothing, and I thought that was odd because it was a sunny bluebird day, and you would think spinner bait, smallmouth spinner bait. Nope. Tried 2 different colors. I tried with the gold blades and tried silver blades, and nope, they wanted that rattle trap. So
whatever works, right?
Yeah, gotta be flexible.
So, are you going to have a spinner bait tied on for next weekend, or are you going to just throw a rattle trap on there?
I probably will start with the spinner bait. Honestly, I probably will start with the spinner bait. So I'll probably have on a frog, a spinner bait, and then probably either a jig or a flipping bait of some kind, depending on what type of area that we get to, and then on the spinning reel, probably either drop shot or Ned rig, I suppose.
Right.
So
I just don't see the Ned rig. Like I said, I've never caught a largemouth on a Ned rig. So I guess depending on what side of the lake you're fishing on up there, if you're fishing by those rocks, you're going to catch those smallies. But if you're going to go head down towards the dunes, then I just don't see a Ned rig working. I don't.
Yeah. Well, I already have the drop shot tied on, so there's a good chance I'll just retie that and roll with that. So yeah, just hopefully we catch some fish this time. Well, we caught some last tournament, but they were pretty darn small.
So what you need to do is you need to elbow the guy and say, follow that boat. Let's just get somewhere close to where he's going. You know what I mean? Because if he's going to honestly bust out and say, hey, okay, well, I already know who the top 5 are going to be here. And then you should bust out, okay, well, why don't we follow them which way they're going?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee, at least those top 3 people are heading to towards the same area. I mean, I'm not saying fish their area, but I'm saying
well, I would predict that the winning bag, I'm gonna predict you'd have to think it's gonna come from the dunes, right? You have to think the winning bag is gonna be largemouth.
Yep.
I mean, you just have to think that.
I mean, unless you're thinking that, I guarantee there's going to be some boats up by the dike trying to catch the large smallmouth.
Yes, I'm sure there will be. Yeah, over by the dam. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, it's just like in the Tri-Cities. I mean, I could have told you before. I would have predicted most likely that the winning bag was going to come from the Reach.
Right.
Which I believe is where it came from.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that the winning bag is going to come from the dunes, but I guess we'll find out.
And unfortunately, you're just along for the ride.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's still fun.
Oh yeah, it's still fun, and the guy, like I said, he caught him a couple weeks ago, and then I also found out that from the guy I fished with yesterday that Fred. He said last year at the Potholes tournament that Fred had big fish for the tournament.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what place he fished in, but I know he said he had big fish.
Right.
So, yeah. So.
Well, hopefully it'll be good. It should.
Yeah.
It should. I don't know if I'm going fishing next weekend or not. I'm still a little butthurt.
About the rod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. Like, my wife asked me, she even parked in the other parking spot so I could get the trailer out of the garage and stuff on Friday night. And she's like, what time are you going fishing tomorrow? I'm like, I'm not going fishing. I'm sleeping in. It's like, what? I'm like, oh, yeah, no. Mm-mm. I ain't getting up for this bull crap.
You're on a hiatus.
I'm a little distraught, man. I'm pretty well upset. Well, really, until I figure out. Now, I will say this, that when I bundled up my rods coming back from Tuesday, none of my lures came loose. Nothing was bounced around, and I tied them up top and, up towards the tip, and then I tied them down right down by the lures to keep everything in place. And I think it's just going to have to come to that. And I think I'm going to have to put some kind of strap in that rod tube to hold everything down.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I could think of is that when I load up that rod tube with my bait casters, I load those in backwards, and then I load in my spinning rods, or i.e. your stuff that day that we went out on.
Right.
On Sunday or Saturday, right? And so I think what happens is that here's my bait casting rods, and then the spinner reels and all that shit. And I just think they were just beating the shit out of it. Mm-hmm. And it probably put a nick, which I don't know how it gets a nick in there because I use rod socks for everything. I use reel covers. But I think it must have put a nick in that rod and snapped it on that second cast.
Right.
So
if you don't get out this weekend, then definitely on the 22nd we need to get somewhere.
I might take
Saturday.
Caleb texted me the other day, wanted me to take him out.
There you go.
So I could get him out there on the skiff.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to really go. I guess I could run out to our special spot on the Snake, but I'm not really thinking that's going to produce much anyhow.
Did you see you probably didn't look at it, where that lake, that Lakewood Master Bass, man, you can about get yourself in trouble saying that too fast.
Yeah.
The Master Bassers. Did you look at that lake where they're fishing at?
Mm-mm.
Man, that looks nice.
What lake was that?
Lake St. Clair. It's over by Tacoma, but man, when you look at that thing on Google Earth or maps, whatever, man, it looks pretty nice. It doesn't look super big. Well, I guess it's kind of big, but man, you just look at that thing and that just looks like somewhere that you'd want to go fishing.
Well, let's just see here. Lake Sinclair.
St. Clair.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh.
Didn't I?
You said Sinclair. I thought you did, but
F you, you don't know.
my ears been getting bad lately.
No, that's what I typed into was Sinclair. Let's see, what is this? Well, that's definitely not the right place because Lake St. Clair is in Michigan.
Probably. I know.
Hey, there's one in Australia. Let's see here. Where does this put me at?
I can't even find it again.
There it is. I got
it. Where's it by?
That way.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Right there. What do you mean that's a small lake?
Where's it? What town is that by?
Ain't no freaking small lake. It's by a casino. Sold off OPH.
There's the Cabela's.
it by? There's Olympia. So it's...
I found it.
It's east of
I found
Olympia.
it. So put it on satellite view. And then zoom in. Look at that.
That thing is freaking huge, though, dude. For
Yeah,
trolling motors.
It is big, but just look at that. So wherever you launch from,
I agree.
Look at that. You don't have to fish the whole lake. You could just take one pocket in your kayak or your little boat, and you got docks for days. That deal that I shared, their little club meeting, they had the guy that owns Limit Out Marine.
Right.
And he did a little speech or little spiel with those guys, and he was talking about fishing this lake. So Lake St. Clair boat ramp. So yeah, look at that. You launch at that boat ramp in your little kayak or whatever. Look at all that. You know, like we talked about, do a 3-mile radius. You got plenty to fish.
Oh yeah, I'd come off that boat ramp, take a straight left, and head down into here.
You got plenty to fish.
That'd take all day right there to work all that area. That'd be awesome.
And even then, you come back. You can come the next day and go the other direction. I mean, That's what I was telling you when I text you. I'm like, man, that looks like a fun place where they're going. Yep, look at all that.
Lily pads.
Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I would say that there's probably a lot of pleasure boaters out there.
There is. They did talk about that during his little presentation. There's one half of that lake, and I can't remember which half he said, but there is one half that's where all the pleasure boaters hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what he was. Probably, I'm going to say down the southern. I'm thinking right in there, the bigger area. That's where I think it is, the bigger area. Well, I'm going to think it's the... Yeah, it could be.
Did they post anything on how it went?
No, that's coming up. That tournament's on the 29th.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah.
I thought it was this past weekend.
No, it's on the 29th. It's at the end of this month.
Yeah,
because remember I was telling you, if we were ever thinking about going over there this summer, the 22nd would have been a good day to do it because it's a week before their tournament. And they're probably going to go pre-fish that lake, I would assume.
Right.
So.
Let's buy a casino, too. Go up there and stay at the casino. Let me see, how big is that casino? Well, that's a pretty big casino. Got the parking garage.
Yeah.
No hotel, though. I need a hotel in Olympia. Yeah. Yeah, we do got to make a trip over there sooner or later.
But yeah, anyway, that looks like a nice place. So last couple things on fishing, Bass Elite, those guys are off until, well, actually they're going to be fishing in 2 weeks. They've been off for a little bit, but they actually got back-to-back tournaments coming up the last 2 weeks of July. I bet they're both up in New York. So
nice.
That's it. So that leaves us about 10 minutes to run through racing. So those of you not interested in racing, this is where you tune off.
This is where you leave.
This is where you leave. Because it wouldn't be right if we didn't cover our 2 cents on the whole.
We actually did pretty good
world.
with fishing. I think this was an actually decent show.
Yeah. So I got some notes. I actually did
You hit me and I'll
a
respond.
show sheet. I actually did a show sheet.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually got stuff on there. So let's start with Formula One first.
Okay.
So did you watch the race first off?
Yes and no. So I know who won. I watched most of it. I feel that Vettel was just point racing. Like, he didn't care. He was just saying, well, Hamilton's too far back to worry about it. But now that you let old freaking Bottas work his way into 15 points closer to Hamilton. So I'm actually kind of excited that he did win. And actually, I hope that Bottas wins another one. Just so you can see Hamilton melt down when Bottas catches his ass. And he's like, wait a second. No. I'm the number one driver. This is why we got rid of the other douchebag. So I'm the number one driver, not you.
So, yeah, I thought Vettel was going to catch, or Vettel. I combined those two suckers. I thought Vettel was going to catch him at the end possibly, but I was glad to see Ricardo hold off Hamilton. I was glad to see that because I was like, you better not roll over and give it up at the very end.
And at your home track.
Right.
That's
yeah.
Red Bull.
Your
they call it
track.
Red Bull Ring. So
right. Yeah. And then I got a couple notes wrote down here. So my number 2 note is they're still stroking Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
Always stroking Hamilton. I'm so goddamn tired of that. So this race was coming down to the end, and Vettel actually was closing in on Bottas, right? But the last 5 laps of the race, all they kept showing was the battle for third. Because Hamilton was in it. Like, come on.
Wait till next
Always stroking Hamilton. And then on top of all of that, did you see the start of the race?
Yes.
With Bottas jumping the red. And I thought it was funny because when they played the replay, when I was watching the replay, when I looked at it, I'm like, he did jump. That car moved before the light turned off. Those announcers immediately said, oh, he didn't jump. And I'm like, what fucking film are you looking at? I'm like, for a minute, I was going to rewind it and look at it again. I'm like, oh, come on, dudes. Don't suck Mercedes' dick. Sorry, guys. This is not the clean version of our show. Like, well, come on. Don't do it. Right? So then I get on there before our show starts tonight, and do some reading on motorsport.com. And there's an article wrote about it. And in fact, he did jump the start, right? Mm-hmm. But the FIA allowed it because they claim there's like a little small window or something because they say that drivers can adjust their clutch at the last second. What?
Yeah, what the hell?
Either he jumped or he didn't jump. Adjust the clutch? What kind of bullcrap is that we're pulling out here? Oh, because we got to keep stroking Mercedes because it's always about stroking Mercedes. Like, come on.
No, when I saw that start, and I'm like, oh, damn it, Vettel got a bad start again. What the hell are you doing, Vettel? And they took off, and I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, wait a second, that dude jumped way sooner. And then probably about 2-3 minutes later, Vettel said something. Hey, man, he jumped. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like, hey, somebody did something wrong there because it didn't look like a good start to me.
I thought the same thing as you on the live start.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even see the jump at the live. I just thought same thing you did. I'm like, what? Vettel was sleeping? What? Really? What? Come on, Vettel. Right? That's what I thought it was too. And then after they brought it up and they showed that replay, I'm like, well, he did move before the light turned out. Like, what the? Come on, Formula One.
Yeah, that's.
I'm trying so hard to love you guys, but geez.
It's not as good as it used to be, but it's still. But actually, yeah, it's still the same. Whether like when I was really, really watching it in the '90s and stuff like that, that it's still a balls and strike freaking racing series. It's how they want to call it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish they would bring. I wish they'd bring some different tires. I think tires would make it a more racier. there's a lot of stuff they could do, but they won't. It's a money sport. Whoever has the biggest checkbook will freaking get their rule passed the way they want it passed. So,
well, that brings us to NASCAR, the final topic on my sheet. But hey, I do have the most notes for NASCAR. Yes. Do. So first off, obviously, did you watch that race?
The Cup race?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you witnessed the ass whooping that we all watched.
I had it turned on, and I slept a lot, and I woke up just to see that Truex was still spanking their butt.
Oh yeah,
I'd fall back asleep. I'd wake up. Hey, Truex just won another stage. Oh, great.
Yeah.
All I cared about where Kansas was at, because that's who I had picked for my fantasy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you who you had picked.
And then fell asleep again and woke up, and they're like, Truex with the 15-second lead. I was like, oh my God, this dude is just laying the wood. He is just like totally spanking these people. And then,
well, he lapped all the way to 8th place, right? There was only 8 cars on the lead lap. Well, maybe 9 after the last caution, lucky dog. But really, of course, it was a 3-car race. It was Truex, Larson, and Kyle Busch.
right.
But of course, you slept through most of this, but to Larson's credit, that dude went to the back to the front twice. So while we could sit here and give Truex credit and say, yeah, that was a dominating ass whooping, I almost got to tip my hat to Larson, because I almost think what Larson did was more impressive than what Truex did. And as far as the top 3 goes, of course, Chase Elliott ends up 3rd, but that isn't the real story, because really the 3rd car was Kyle Busch.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Busch, Larson, Truex. Everybody else was, it was a 3-horse race.
Right.
But yeah, Kyle Larson, man.
Yeah, he did. He did come through the field twice, and he worked. And I remember when they were talking to Truex after the first stage, and like, "Hey, Larson's coming up through." And he's like, "I don't care. I'm racing my own race." And I'm like, "Yeah, bullshit." Dude. In the back of your head, you're like, "Oh my God, this kid just came through the whole field." So need to worry about that. But
yeah.
yeah,
well,
he did.
And the second time was his own doing, because he sped on pit road. So that he created those issues for himself.
Right.
So, and speaking of Kenseth, yeah, we had already texted about that the other day, him being out. But I read a couple things tonight before our show started. So I read a story where, of course, Joe Gibbs is not saying what's going to happen with Eric Jones. We
already know what's going to happen.
He's not saying it. But another story that I read that was interesting, because I heard on when I was watching practice or something on Friday, when the guys were on, Jeff Burton and Letarte and all those guys, and they were talking about, the 77 car is a good car, and that's a strong 2-car team, and that's a blah blah blah. They kept talking about that car, and so guess what I read today? A story with the interview from Barney Visser, the owner of Front Row Motorsports. And he's saying, as of now, they have no plan for 77 car next year.
Bullshit.
It's probably going to be a one and done. He says it depends on money. But here's what I think. So
hold on.
I think the reason they had that car is because I think Gibbs was funding part of that car for Eric Jones.
Oh, he definitely
heard something different.
He definitely was. But here's the thing. Who is the 77's major sponsor?
5 Hour Energy.
5 Hour Energy. 5 Hour Energy cannot sponsor another car because they were grandfathered in. That's the only car they can sponsor from here, and as long as Monster Energy has this series, they can only sponsor the 77 car. That's it.
Really?
So 77
I
car,
hadn't even heard that.
77 car will be funded by 5 Hour Energy, unless 5 Hour Energy says, screw it, we're done with NASCAR. Because they can't.
And that may be.
And they can't, unless they say, okay, well, we're just going to jump ship from, which I don't even think they could do that. But right now, 5 Hour Energy is a co-sponsor of Furniture Row.
Well, unless, because see, I had heard them talking about, on Friday when they were talking about Eric Jones going to the the 20 car.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Nate Ryan, the NASCAR writer for USA Today or whatever, when he was saying that he is going to the 20 car. He will be in the 20 car next year, and he said 5 Hour Energy's going with him.
Nope.
So unless 5 Hour Energy is trying to argue the point, well, we're attached to Eric Jones, not necessarily the car. Like if they're trying to argue that point.
Nope, they're saying that 5 Hour Energy is to the team. That 5 Hour Energy cannot follow Eric Jones. So 5 Hour Energy, unless they say, okay, we're done with NASCAR racing, this is their last year, then it is what it is. But if they want to keep it going, because I don't think they could even switch to say Truex.
They're attached to the.
I think they're attached to that car.
Yeah. Well, the article I read said they very likely could be a one and done.
That's interesting.
A one and done team. And then, of course, Kenseth, all the talk is, of course, well, you listen to NASCAR radio all the time, so you're gonna get your fill of Matt Kenseth this week. So it's gonna be a lot about where he's going. And I even saw today on Dale Jr.'s podcast Dale Jr.'s Periscope, that he said somebody had asked him about Kenseth, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about Kenseth. He's gonna have a good car."
Yeah, so. I think he'll get into a ride somewhere. I mean, he's not washed up by no means, but he's in good equipment right now. Well, he ran top 10 all race yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like that. He just got caught up in that. Of course, he got caught up in that wreck on the very goddamn last lap that knocked him down to 18th. Of course, why wouldn't he? I picked him. That's why. And you know who started that shit? Mr. freaking Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
Who got lied to with an 11th place or 10th place or something.
Right. Sorry,
man. That kid's not going to be in a ride.
I don't think so.
He has good enough talent. I mean, let's just throw my biases to the side because I don't like the kid. But he has good talent. But who out there, let's just take Cup. And I'm coming from a football analogy looking at it. Who is Bubba Wallace going to replace out there? There's nobody. Are you going to put Bubba Wallace in Danica's car? I think they're about the same, equal, and she might be a little bit, probably not better. I think he's probably better than Danica because his finishing positions show that in these last couple of Cup races. But you're not going to do that, and so if you think, okay, well, what ride can he have unless somebody makes a car for him? There is no ride out there.
No.
You're not going to take out a good driver to put him in there. Now, I could see maybe like Corey LaJoie's ride. Take that douchebag out and put Bubba Wallace in there. I'll root for Bubba Wallace on that one. But the equipment's not there for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, silly season should be interesting coming up because now, like I told you the other day, now you got talk about now Keselowski's name's coming up because his contract's not done, and then you got Blaney. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Okay, so this is my thought on Blaney because when they had Brad Keselowski on a couple weeks ago, and he straight up said, "Look." He didn't say he's not going anywhere. He didn't say he's staying. He had to play the politically correct down the line shit. But what he was talking about was that the relationship between him and Penske is... God dang, why do I always forget these damn words I want to use? Probably because they're so long and big that I can't remember. But that he wants to stay with Penske. Number one, because he wants to win... He wants to be the winningest driver at Penske. Now, the problem is with that is that there's a road driver that has so many wins, right? That race for Penske, but he's close to it. He's close to getting that. And, of course, he wants to get a second championship with Penske because Penske's been so good with him. So Penske's already said that they're going – this was beginning of this year or something like that they will have a third car team. They will have a third car team. So that means that Blaney's going to slide over to the third car Penske, full-time Penske. That was at the beginning of the year. Now, does that mean that Blaney's going to slide into the 2?
But Blaney would need a new contract though, because he's on a contract with Wood Brothers right now. They're affiliated with Penske, but here's the deal. So just spitballing. So and we know how Rick Hendrick is. Everybody knows Hendrick don't make no bones about he'll go after whatever driver he wants. Right. It doesn't matter what team they're on. So if Hendrick comes at Blaney for the 88, man, that'd be hard for him to say no to.
Very hard. There's no loyalty in that, but there's no loyalty in that anyhow.
No.
Money talks and equipment talks.
I suspect, there's been a lot of stroking. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of stroking going on of this William Byron kid.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling when it comes down to it, I don't think he's getting the call. I think he's going to get the speech that you always hear, he needs another year in Xfinity. Well, we've heard that before with other drivers. He needs another year.
Well, and I don't know if you've listened to the last couple of, even yesterday's race. Do you remember hearing the announcers going, yeah, and Jones, the kid you don't like, Eric Jones, he says he's got the most experience this year than he ever has running in a Cup car, and every now and then are the Cup guys coming down to Infinity. They were saying that. They said it like 3 times yesterday. And what they're trying to say is that, well, William Byron should come up because he's going to get more experience up here. But Hendrick basically has 2 openings. Basically has 2 openings, possibly 3 in the near future, right? Because we all know that Jimmy's going to be... He's counting his chickens right now, I think. I think he's definitely thinking about his escape plan. So you got the 5 car, which... Casey Kane's not going to be back in that car.
No, you wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think so, right? I mean, how can he hasn't proven anything in the years that he's been there? What has he done? Nothing. So you got the 88 you're going to fill up. You're going to have to fill that with a big name. You're going to have to do something, unless you bring in the William Byron or even Alex Bowman or something. But they have those. They have 2 solid rides right there, so I could see Hendrick going after a big name. Probably,
think about if you're Casey Kane too, though, right? Think about if you're Casey Kane. So now you got what? Now there's rumors and grumblings going around that Danica Patrick may not have sponsorship next year, which means that ride could be in jeopardy for her, right? And then, I mean, if you're Casey Kane, be in Casey Kane's shoes for a minute, he's gonna have to start. He's going to have to get some kind of word from Hendrick, like, "Hey, are you looking at cutting my ass?" Because you know what I'm saying. The musical chairs are about to start, right?
Right.
And you don't want to be standing outside still buying your ticket to get in while they're shutting the music off. You understand what I'm getting at? Like Ken's is going to be out there going, that chair looks pretty good. That chair looks pretty good. And Casey Kane's out at the ticket window, like, man, I got to get in there, man. Get me in there, jeez.
Right.
He's going to walk in. They're going to be like, oh, sorry, man. We sold out.
Right.
Sold out. Sold out.
No, he's I don't know, man. Casey Kane's a good driver, but I just don't see him motoring on too much longer. I don't. Where's he going to go? I mean, you got to look at the elite teams. Who's winning races out there? You got Gibbs. Well, Gibbs hasn't won nothing yet, but, they're still a force every weekend. Gibbs, Hendricks, Penske, Stewart Haas. That's it.
Hey, here's another one for you. How long... I'm going to laugh about saying this. How long is Roush going to ride with Trevor Bayne?
Oh, I don't think they're not going to ride too much longer with him.
You wouldn't think so, because now... I mean, they both were kind of even par with each other, Ricky and Trevor Bayne, but you can't even say that anymore now, because now Ricky's got a couple wins and Trevor Bayne's still...
I won Daytona 5 years ago.
Right?
Yeah, no, I agree. But who's going to go back in that car? Like, well, remember when
there's
the
a
other
spot.
day,
Well, there's a spot where I could see Casey Kane ending up if he leaves Hendrick. I could see Roush taking a flyer on Casey Kane.
well, like I said, remember when I texted you the other day about seeing that I see Kenseth ending his career in a Ford, like maybe going back to
Roush.
for his last hurrah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, in the 6 car.
You know, I mean, really, if you think about it, why wouldn't Roush do that? You know, bring him back. He's a quality driver. They got the equipment now. They got the resources. They're actually racing decently. You know, put Kenseth back in that car and turn him loose. But then I don't know how much Stenhouse has pull and say now. He probably has more pull and say because he's won those 2 races. But I mean, Roush has definitely got their shit together. I don't think they're back. I mean, that was the big thing when Stenhouse won the first race. They're like, "Oh, is Roush back?" Roush back? Hell no, they're not back. He won a fucking race. You know, and then he did seal it up with his other one, but that's super speedway. I'm sorry, but I can't take super speedway wins and.
You have to take those with a grain of salt.
You know, but Stenhouse does do good at Bristol, too. Stenhouse has been doing pretty good this year. I can't knock him too bad this year. He's been up in there. Roush has been back. You know, they pulled their shit together after dropping the other 2 teams, and now they dumped their Infinity program. So it is going to get funky here towards the end of the year. I think Yo Yibbs and Kenseth had a nice long talk on Thursday. I'm pretty sure kids pulled him in there and said, "Boy, what in the hell were you thinking?"
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Kenseth was probably thinking about his own because he knew he was out. He knew he was done. He was the low man. He knew he wasn't coming back. So he's like, "Hey, let me put my freaking business card out there. By the way, I'm not coming back to Gibbs next year."
Well, you know, the funny thing about it, too, speaking of Dale Jr. and his podcast this morning, he was actually talking about that, and he basically said, "Look, guys," he goes, just because this came out in the media this week, he said, "This is not an unknown thing. Like, in our world, in the garage, like, everybody knew
right.
how this was gonna, I mean, this wasn't like like the rest of the world was shocked on whatever day, like, oh, really?" And he said this was not news in the NASCAR, in the inside NASCAR world. Everybody knew. Everybody already knew Kenseth was going to be out.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, we knew that. We knew that at the beginning of the year. Because I mean, you were both talking about how much longer does he have? You know, with Eric Jones back there and Suarez, and then when freaking Knucklehead decided to retire, Carl Edwards, and it really turned into okay.
And I still say, like I told you when we were texting, I still believe that. I think the owners and NASCAR world right now is caught up in the youth. They are caught up in, this is the thing, the Blaney's, the Chase Elliott's, the Larsons, and that's it. That's the drug of choice right now. If you're a NASCAR owner, and not only a NASCAR owner, if you're a sponsor, if you're a potential sponsor, that's the drug of choice. Who is the hot 20-something young stud coming along? That's what they're looking for.
Well, I think a lot of sponsors want to sponsor somebody from day one and keep, like Napa with Chase. They'll probably stay with him for his whole freaking career unless he does something really stupid. You know,
so Jimmy Johnson.
Exactly, right? So you got that he followed him the whole time.
Yeah.
It probably made millions and millions and millions of dollars for Lowe's. That advertisement right there is just nuts. Especially with 7 championships, that's crazy.
And you know that right there, that's probably that's the jewel that I think that Jimmy. I think we all know what he's still racing for. That's I think when he gets number 8, it's going to be mic drop.
Yeah.
I mean, because
his no bones about that.
His kids are at the age, right? His kids are at the age. I mean, you know, he's got other things. Yes. The same way Jeff Gordon did outside of racing. I think once he gets number 8, it's going to be mic drop time.
If he gets number 8, I don't know if I see him winning another one, but with the way the playoffs are set up, that it's so highly possible he could. But yeah,
he's gonna get number 8, drop the mic, and the next time we're gonna see his face is with a Lowe's jersey on a bicycle in France. That's when we're gonna see. That's where we're gonna see Jimmy Johnson next.
I think you're honestly going to see a Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon booth.
You think?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I was just thinking I was gonna tell you I can't stand Jeff Burton. I've officially decided after the other night. I don't know.
Right.
There's something about Jeff Burton, man. He just don't work for me. And I'm thinking there's a perfect landing spot for Dale Jr.
I guarantee you.
Because they're going to pair him up with this old crew chief. Oh, let's Hart Jr. back together.
I guarantee you right now, NBC is so far up Junior's asshole with buckets and buckets of money, and they're tonguing his balls, dude. They're like, dude, come on. After you're done this year, you NBC, I guarantee you they are. There is no way that they're not. They got such a hard on right now because you just said it. Oh, Letarte and him together. Oh my God, can you imagine the banter that they're going to have during these races? Oh yeah. Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, I would be shocked if that's not what happens.
And then I see Fox saying, okay, fine, we got Waltrip. He's a great guy, but he's getting up there, and we need to get a little bit younger and somebody that's been in these cars right now. And I could see them going after Jimmy Johnson and putting Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson together. I could see it. Mark it. Episode number 10 of the Fishin Hole Live. We called our shot.
We called it.
I'm like Babe Ruth. I'm pointing.
Do you think? Well, I'm. If we're standing at the roulette table, yeah, I'm putting my pile of chips on Dale Jr. to NBC, but you might take one chip or maybe 2 chips and slide it over. Maybe Fox might try it. Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon.
I'm sure that Fox is. I mean, they want that to happen, and I'm sure they're sharpening up their pencil right now, and they're trying to figure out how many zeros they can put on a check for him. But I think NBC is just going to blow them out of the water. NBC is going to step up and just, yeah. And then I think Jeff Gordon's going to be like, wait a second, I won championships and I did that, and this kid's going to make this much more money than me over at NBC. Oh yeah,
right.
But you got to go with the popularity person. I mean, can you imagine with Junior in the booth on how many people will watch that race?
Yeah,
it'll be nuts. It'll be freaking nuts.
Right.
Just to hear his banter, and God forbid, man, I really wish we'd get some freaking announcers in there that actually speak their mind and bust out an S-bomb every now and then. Like, that was the stupidest shit I've ever seen. That's what I want to see.
That's when you need like Clint Boyer in there.
Clint Boyer would make an awesome announcer.
Yeah. Well, he did announce that Pocono race.
Yeah, I watched that. That was pretty good.
That race to me was interesting. I did enjoy it, but that race to me felt like it wasn't your typical color or it wasn't your typical play-by-play guy and then a color commentator. Right. It was like 3 color commentators, or it was like 3 dudes sitting on the couch watching the race and talking about it, which I thought was kind of cool. It was different.
It was very good because there was no uptightiness about it.
Yes.
It was just 3 good old boys sitting there talking about a race. And talking about, racing. And what is this shit, though, that I do not like with NBC? I'm sorry, man, but I do not need to see the winning driver 2 interviews.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. I have a theory on this. So I think it's some producer somewhere or some intern trying to make a name for themselves in the behind-the-scenes TV world that we don't get to see, right? I think they were sitting around at some meeting, right? And somebody said, you know how they do the TV interview in Victory Lane? What if you could capture that raw emotion right after it happened, like immediately, as soon as they climb out of the car and pop the helmet off? Wouldn't that be cool?
Like the old
I-
like Saturday Night Racing.
I think that's what it was, dude. I think that's what it was. I think there was some little young intern that pushed her glasses up on her head and raised her hand. It was her turn to talk, or him, whatever, and said, "What if we captured that raw emotion, like right on the track? They always stop and jump out and grab the flag, anyways. What if we stick the mic in their face right there?"
Right. Yeah, I don't like
And
it.
you know what? And yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of it either. But here's the thing, right? So what? If you had to predict what was going to happen in that circumstance, Ricky Stenhouse proved it, right? He said some dumb shit. Like, because why? Because he didn't have time to ride around the track on his victory lap and drive back to victory lane thinking about what he was going to say. No, he just had to spew some shit out off top of his head, and we got the 1776 American, we're champions. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I guarantee you, in the back of his head after he said that, he is probably like, "Oh man, did I really just say that?"
yeah. I think either interview him there or and leave Victory to the other yokels out there, the fish wraps and stuff. And I don't need to see two of them because you're just asking the same damn questions.
Yeah,
Stupid, absolutely stupid.
I'm pretty sure that's how that whole thing went down. That's how that went down.
Yeah.
That was someone trying to climb the ladder in TV world that said, "Oh, I got one. I got a great idea. I'm going to drop."
Then what's next? Are all the radio personalities going to be like, "Hey, we need to go out there and interview them too"? So next thing you see is, you see the big Suburban rolling up out there, and 15 freaking press people are out there.
Here comes Claire B.
Claire B. Lane
hopping out of the MRN truck.
Jesus Christ!
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't like it. They need to stop that shit.
NASCAR's got to get something figured out though, because I was just sitting here glancing at another story. It says Fox sees 12% decline over last year's ratings, and the start of the article says Fox and FS1 for its package of 15 Monster Energy Cup races this season averaged 4.9 million viewers, down 12% from 5.6 million last year, and down 14% from 5.7 in 2015. We've been hearing this for a while. That the numbers for NASCAR are dropping every year.
Which is weird because, I mean, with the stage racing and stuff, I think it's been actually really, really good. I think and I bet you Fox is looking at youth. Fox is going to have to get somebody in there besides Darrell Waltrip. Because I don't know. I like Darrell Waltrip, but it just seems like sometimes he talks out of both sides of his mouth. He doesn't. He acts like he's a friend of Gordon, but I don't think they like each other.
There's some underlying animosity there.
And it just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it's because there's two drivers in there instead of a driver and a crew chief like it used to be. But
too many roosters in the hen house, to use the line from Days of Thunder.
I like Gordon, but. I like Darrell Waltrip too. I mean, I do like him. It's not bad, but.
Well, here's the thing, but see, they've been talking about these numbers have been going down. Not just Fox, NBC. They've been, even when ESPN had it, the numbers are going down every year. Mm-hmm. But here's my theory: they need to shorten the races. Think about it. In this day and age that we live in, what do you always hear about? It's the short attention span syndrome. It's technology. Everybody wants it. They want it now. They want it fast. They don't have time to sit down for 3 hours or whatever. I think that's a big part of it. They got to figure out how to. They tried that. I mean, that was the stages, right? Let's break it up. Let's have a caution. But I think the overall package, they got to cut it down because people just don't want to invest that much time.
Right. Well, I think they definitely could have used another stage yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was just one boring ass race, really. I mean, it didn't really do what they wanted. And I'm sorry, but they need to get that goddamn competition yellow out of there. That was the stupidest freaking thing yesterday. They just ran a solid full freaking Infinity race, and you're going to tell me you're going to have a 20-lap freaking caution because competition just so we can make sure everything's. Get the shit out of here.
Yep.
What the frick was that?
Two.
That was just stupid
two.
Asinine. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Get that. And so what? So what if it downpours before the race? You know what? They're all men out there. You know,
Yeah, same for everybody, right?
Everybody's on the
Same
same
for
shit.
everybody.
Who gives a shit?
Yep.
What are we going to do in that caution? Come in and check out tire? Who gives a shit? Let them run.
Yep, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, they could come in, but they can't put fuel in it. What? That's stupid.
Yeah. I seriously think that's the deal. I honestly, I think they're going to have to figure out how to shorten the whole thing up because in this day and age, man, people don't want to, you know, baseball has the same problem, right? You hear them talking about, and they're going to have a really hard time because, you know, baseball, the history of baseball and those people, and NASCAR is going to be the same way. They're going to have a hard time telling everybody, what do you mean it's going to be the Daytona 350? What?
Right. Well, yeah, they could probably still do the special races, the Coca-Cola 600 and the Daytona 500, and then just honestly, if we're going to compare apples to apples, let's go back and look at the ratings for certain tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the Chicagos. Let's look at the Kentuckys. Let's look at the Kansases. Let's look at Vegas. They actually did something different with their mile and a half. You know, make it a little bit different. I think people are just damn bored of mile and a half tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Put in some miles. Let's race some Dovers. Let's race some Richmonds. Let's race, you know, let's go back to the roots and let's goddamn race a fucking Rockingham.
Hey, this is going to bring me to another Dale Jr. Periscope reference today. You know what? On that very subject you're talking about, he threw up the idea today. He goes, I know Denny Hamlin's going to like me saying this, but I think we should go run South Boston.
Oh, that would be pretty badass.
Yeah.
Dude, I would pay. They should do that a pay-per-view, and I would pay money to see that. To put a Cup car on South Boston, holy shit. Like 30 of them. Do like a 30 of them.
Yeah, you'd have to weed it down somehow, have some heat races
25 or something like that. But that would be the shit. Now we're going to see who's wearing the big boy breeches.
Yep.
I think that would be.
Yeah, because when the ratings come in, they haven't come in yet, I'm sure, but when the ratings come in for this race that we just had, right, which Kentucky I don't think is a high rated track anyways for ratings, but then on top of that, what just happened, like you said, I fell asleep through half the race because there really was nothing going on. Mm-hmm. Even with the stages, it was boring. And
they had a big crowd there too. I was actually surprised at the crowd count, but yeah, it's just. I think they just need to figure something out and but they're so scared because it's all money driven now. You know, all that money that they put into these freaking mile and a halves, and you know, and take away good races from, like they took a race from California. Well, yeah, that's a fast mile and a half. You know, that thing had that has some structure to it. You know, so I don't know. That's just my theory.
I definitely think we could do. I think we could do with one Pocono.
That was an edge.
I saw that. We could definitely deal with one Pocono.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that, and I would even be fine because there's one California, just have one Michigan, and then there's 2 dates that opened up that we could do something. You know, like I said, go back to Rockingham or Iowa.
Iowa's been begging
put one
for
in
a
Iowa,
race.
Right? Yeah.
Basically another Richmond right there.
I would say first step, drop a Pocono, pick up Iowa. I think that'd be good. Another short track.
Yep. Or drop a Pocono and put in Coda.
Well, hey, that's a good idea. So drop a Pocono, put in Iowa, drop one Michigan, put in Coda. There you go. You add a short track and a road course.
Mm-hmm. And I think you should put those in the chase.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yep.
There should definitely be a road course in the chase.
It's funny because they never even mention Coda. I never hear any of the NASCAR people ever even bring up Coda, and now we're going to do this stupid-ass course at Charlotte next year. Like, what?
The Roval.
I don't know what the deal is. Why you never hear them talk about Coda? I mean, that's got to be one of the best road courses in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's because there's people that make more money than us making decisions.
Right. Just a couple. Yeah. Enough said on that.
Right.
Well, I think we set a new record.
Dude, man, I just looked down and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, we set a new
Almost
record.
2 hours. I'm going to have to put that in there. First hour fishing.
Second hour racing. Hey, good thing it wasn't football season, too. Can you imagine if it was NASCAR playoffs and football season going on?
Right. Straight fishing talk.
Which, by the way, football's coming, guys. So any of you out there anybody that's interested in football, don't worry. We're gonna have plenty of angles and comments about football.
A lot of racing shit. That's awesome. All right, I'm ready to go play some Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
I gotta take some
aggression out.
Aggression out. This computer, man, is just bugging the crap out of me. So, all right, till next week.
Till next week. Don't forget comments.
Comment, yeah, anything you guys want us to talk about, man. Like if you guys got a product or something that you like and want us to give our 2 cents on it, we definitely will.
Yep.
Or certain fishing techniques, because I'm still learning. I'm still trying different stuff. Or give me a good recommendation for a cheap rod. That's good. But yeah, definitely comment when you're watching the replay. Comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. If you tell me that you don't want him on there anymore, that's fine. We can figure that out. We'll just do the shit like that, right? So, you just want to hear him? We got it. We got it.
We probably need a. Hey, that's what we're gonna have to have, right? If they send us the woo hats, we'll have to sport the woo hats on the.
Dude,
on the show.
I don't think they will. I think they're just going to send me some weights for cheaper. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows?
You never know.
Maybe they're like, man, dude, these 2 guys are the shit. They're going to take us to the next level. They're going to take us to the next level, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody, peace out. Next
week. Yeah, peace out.
Have a good one. Good luck fishing.
See ya.
Tight lines. What's the other terms? Keep them wet. All right, peace.
Later.